Hi, welcome to Talk 1260 KTRC. You're listening to the Humanity Behind the Vanity, a show about plastic surgery and a lot of other things. I'm Dr. Daniel Ronel, and I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
Yes.
And we have a friend of ours, Valerie Ingram, who's devoted her life to Santa Fe, and she's going to tell you all about what's going on.
Well, we first met Valerie when we joined up with Santa Fe Community Foundation several years ago, and then we met her again because she used to head up Future Santa Fe. So she's devoted her life to giving back.
Nonprofits.
And now, tell us what you're doing, because you're still in that realm. What are you
I'm
doing?
still in that realm after almost 20 years.
Wow.
I recently started my own business consulting with nonprofits, and my area of specialty is in applying best business practices to managing and leading nonprofit organizations. It's kind of like whitewater rafting. You know, there's some things outside of your control, but if you apply business principles to nonprofit management, you're the stronger for it.
Right.
Why is that important right now?
Wow, you know, Santa Fe has so many amazing nonprofits, as you guys know, because you support a number of them that do very important work here.
Yes.
And times are tough. We're getting hit from both sides, both as individuals and the nonprofits.
Right.
You know, the expenses for things are going up, but wages are flat, jobs are down, revenue's down for nonprofits.
Yep.
So they've got, one of the reasons that I feel so passionately about working with nonprofits is because nonprofits build a bridge between what people can do for themselves and what society provides.
Yeah.
And with the times we're in right now, more and more people are standing on that bridge because they need help. And what I've got to talk to you about today are survival tips for nonprofits during these times.
Good. You got the right audience.
So one of the things that nonprofits are talking about right now is their marketing expenses, because marketing is usually a pretty large part of their budget.
Right.
It's really tempting to say, let's cut marketing. Don't do it. That is the wrong place to try to save money. You have got to keep communicating with your donors and prospective donors. We really live in an out-of-sight, out-of-mind culture.
Yes.
If you pull back on your marketing, people will forget you.
Yep.
So there's some things you can do about marketing that don't cost money. One of them is answer your phone. People will be surprised that they got you on the phone and impressed.
Yes.
They'll be surprised that it was easy to get a hold of you, and you can respond to whatever their need is right away. If you make it a standard to return your phone messages and your email messages within 24 hours.
Yep.
And if you can't, change your voicemail message,
Right.
change an automatic reply in your email to tell people when you'll get back to them.
Exactly.
Another thing that you can do that doesn't cost any money.
Like my practice.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Return
of
the
myself.
calls.
Right.
And people,
Yeah.
if you don't return the calls to make the appointments,
They'll find
somebody else.
That's exactly right.
Another thing that nonprofits can do to communicate that doesn't cost any money is just ask to meet with your loyal supporters and ask them who they know
Right.
that they could introduce you to, where you can talk about your mission and your organization's goals.
Yes.
You know, it might cost you the price of a cup of coffee.
Right.
But usually the donor will pay.
Right.
You don't have to-
Absolutely. Right. The organization.
But ask them to open some doors for you. And here's where you can get board members to help. Board members can do the same thing by asking their contacts.
Yes.
Who do you know that you could introduce us to so we could further talk about our organization's mission?
Yep.
Another thing nonprofits can do is to look at their internal operations for things that might be outsourced. Right? How many nonprofits do we know who are paying the salary of the development director who gets called in to stuff envelopes for the annual appeal mailing?
Oh no.
Right?
A volunteer can do that.
A volunteer ought to be able to do that, and if not, it might even be cheaper to outsource it to a company that does bulk mailings.
Okay. Right.
And then that frees up your staff's time to work on things that are more mission-centric.
Right.
So look at your internal operations. Are there some things that you should outsource?
Yes.
Another thing nonprofits should be talking about, especially in Santa Fe, because we have so many nonprofits here, consider collaborations.
Yes.
Is it possible for you to share resources with another organization?
Yep.
Maybe you could save money by combining your order for copy paper into one order.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have missions to do that. An environmental organization and an education organization could put their order together and maybe get a discount by ordering a greater amount of paper or other office supplies.
Right.
Here's one that's a little bit more complicated, but it's possible. Could two organizations share a human resources office?
That'd be excellent.
That you don't have to have congruent missions. The human resources is cutting paychecks and making sure you adhere to the laws and paying your taxes and that kind of thing.
Right.
But maybe you could have one office doing that for two organizations and save some money.
That'd be great.
And sometimes in nonprofits we get discouraged because making these kinds of changes seem to be incrementally very small.
Right.
Don't get discouraged. The little pieces of savings will add up to bigger savings over time.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Another thing nonprofits can do is take a really good look at their mailing list. If you have been mailing to somebody for more than 5 years and they haven't made a gift, it's okay to drop them off the list.
Right.
It's okay.
They could be gone, dead. I mean, who knows?
Well, and one of the things that your board members are doing, hopefully, is feeding you new names all the time from their contacts.
That's right.
You know, so take a really good look at your mailing list and see if that's a place you can save some money.
A very inexpensive way to reach people is through the internet, through social networking, constant contact with e-blasts,
Facebook,
rather than mailing.
Right. And instead of spending staff time updating the Facebook page or the Twitter feed or whatever you've got, find a volunteer to do that.
Absolutely.
That's another one of those places that you shouldn't be using staff time to do that kind of messaging. There are volunteers that you can find to do it for you.
Right.
And the sixth thing, I didn't number them as we were talking, but there were 6.
Yeah.
I'll go over them. It's time. Lots of nonprofits in Santa Fe are small staffs and small budgets, and they don't think that they're candidates to talk to donors about planned giving.
Oh.
But if you're in it for the long haul, right, you should be thinking about planned giving and setting up an endowment. Santa Fe Community Foundation is a great organization to advise nonprofits on endowments and how to build them, and planned giving is part of that. And you can absolutely start talking about it. You can add a line on the bottom of all your thank you letters that says, please remember X organization in your will or estate plan.
Right.
You know, there are ways to do it that don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he's giving us the sign there, so I'm going to...
It just means we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, 2 minutes, not 2 seconds.
It's plenty of time.
2 minutes.
Not 2 seconds. You know, and most nonprofits make a mistake in the way they market planned giving, and they talk about what's called a gift vehicle, and that means an annuity or a trust. Say charitable remainder unitrust, and you just watch someone's eyes glaze over because they don't.
Right.
They don't know what you're talking about.
I was about to do that.
What is she talking about? And you're talking about what's going to happen when someone dies, and people don't like to think about that.
No.
So what you talk about in your marketing instead is what is the benefit of the gift? Through a gift through your estate could make this program happen for a child in perpetuity.
Right.
So you talk about the benefits, not how it happens and when you die.
Right.
Right?
The legacy you're leaving.
Right. And nonprofits that would like to explore more of these ideas could certainly call me. My contact info is on my website.
Tell us about that.
What's your website?
It's V Ingram, my first initial and last name, vingramconsulting.com.
Okay.
And there's contact information on there, and they can email or call me. I'm happy to talk to any Santa Fe-based nonprofits and just chat over the phone.
Okay, great. Do you want to sum up anything? Or
I would love to. We have time. So, so continue marketing. Don't cut back those marketing dollars. Stay in touch with all your supporters. Consider collaborative purchasing. Trim. Oh, I forgot to say this. While you're looking at trimming your mailing list, you should keep the same do the same evaluation with your programs. Over the years, if you added on programs that weren't core to your mission, you might need to trim them back. A lot of nonprofits make the mistake of accepting grant money that takes them a little bit sideways from their mission because they want the money.
Okay.
You know, cut the programs back. Do a lot of little things right, and consider marketing planned gifts.
Okay, thank you so much for listening.
I mean, do you not hear the passion in her voice?
Yes.
She's flawless. Okay, good.
Stay tuned for a tip from Dr. Rita Dodds.
Thank you, Valerie Ingram. Thank you very much.